Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of One Monkey Garage. My name is Dylan, and in the last episode you saw me create and install the floor pans on the 76 Corvette. On this episode we're going to be finalizing that install by sealing the top and the bottom to prevent any further rust and water intrusion into the cab. Stay tuned to see how we do that. Also, if you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe and click that bell notification so that you're notified every time I post a new video. Alright, let's get into this. Alright, as you can see, the Corvette is outside. I've got to go ahead and get the underside of the Corvette prepared. So let me show you what I need to get ready right now to fix. So, it's hard to see, but if I can get you in there. Alright, so the patch from the upside, from the top side, is right here, and I've got to get all of this metal in this general area cleaned so that I can patch it from the bottom in order to prevent water from getting up inside of it. I've also got that area there, and then if I bring you to the other side, I can get you in from right here, yeah. We've also got all of this to get ready, and then also that seam right there where the fiberglass meets the metal, I've got to repair that. So to fix all of this, to get it ready, I'm going to be using one of these sandblasters. Alright, these sandblasters get a very bad rap at being bad, useless. People hate them, they're a waste of money. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, the people that have had bad experiences with this style of sandblaster, it's user error, okay? There is a learning curve to using these. I'm not gonna go into the full detail of what you need to do to make it work correctly. If y'all are interested in that, just let me know in the comments and I'll make a separate video on how to use the sandblaster. I've sandblasted at least 6 vehicles completely with that sandblaster alone. Learning curve, there's little things you have to do to make them work. They can be aggravating sometimes, but they do the job. And I'm gonna go ahead and get all this blasted, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. So you just saw me sandblasting. You also saw me sandblast the front of this nose area. I didn't bother getting it all completely done because the majority of it is just surface rust. Just sand that off, lightly scuff it up, and put some chassis saver on it. What I was really interested in were these areas over here. So this has actually got a decent amount of rot. I need to double check and see, because right here is a nutsert. And I have it on both sides. I need to double check and make sure the nutserts are good. If the nutserts are good, I'm not gonna worry about it too much, to tell you all the truth. It's not seen. The chassis saver will prevent any other rust, and it will do its job in holding the headlights up. Also, where I need to seal, I got all that blasted, as well as all that over there to start getting ready to fix that. The same thing with this front area, as well as that back seatbelt mount. Alright, so now on the top side, for every area that I put these patch panels in, I stitch welded primarily all around it. That means water can still get in, and if water can get in, water can get to the top here as well. So what I have to do is go around the perimeter of all of the patch panels, and I need to sand it down and then apply some universal grade primer down. Once the primer is all down on the edge on all of them, I then have to scuff that and then come around with the seam sealer, and that will seal off all the water. Top side, I have to do the same thing on the bottom side, plus a little bit more patchwork to make it all watertight. But that's what I have to do now, and I'm gonna get that knocked out, show you all the steps of how I do that. And okay, so just primed all the areas inside the cab. The patch panels went on. Like I said, we're going to be seam sealing all the way around it, but the seam sealer wants a painted or a primed surface. So we had to prime our bare metal. I got to wait, according to the can, 4 hours, and then I can dry sand this, clean it up, and throw in the seam sealer. In the meantime, we're going to work on the underneath. So because I patched the top, I'm not worried about patching the bottom. I just want to fill the bottom. So I'm filling those areas in between the two areas with fiberglass. I've got it over here, as well as on the bottom of the driver's side in the back area. Now, some of y'all might be thinking that's kind of a hack way to do it, and it's to each their own. For me, this is going to serve its purpose, and it's okay for me. I'm fine with how it is. For each individual person, you're going to have to decide what you do and you don't want. If you want, you could have cut these floor pans out and put new patch panels in and gone that way. I decided not to, as I didn't feel it was necessary to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish with the floors. So structurally, they're sound with these new patches. All I'm doing on the bottom is putting in the fiberglass putty to kind of fill the void so that water can't get in. Just kind of pack it up in there. Now, obviously, if this was going to be a structural situation, I wouldn't do that. I would not patch this with just the fiberglass Bondo. But because I have the top floor pan, all this is doing is stopping water from getting in. And for me, it's perfectly suitable. You may disagree, but it's a good thing it's my car, right? All right, so I'm gonna let that Bondo dry, sand it down. I'm probably have to apply 1, maybe 2 more coats to get it to look the way I want it to. And then hopefully by then I'll have to wait a little bit longer and I can start putting on that seam sealer. All right, catch y'all later. All right, so still working on those floors, but I wanted to show y'all what else I'm trying to take care of. So, as you know, I said earlier, this right here is all metal, as well as all of this area that the front bumper bolts onto. Same thing with these lower pieces. I just actually took this lower one off because I had some broken bolts that I'm taking care of. But what I'm gonna do right now is finish sanding this down. Some of it's sandblasted, but most of it just needs to be scuffed. And I'm gonna go ahead and chassis saver all of this now. And that's gonna prevent it from future rust and flash rust. And then if I do get overspray on it or whatever, it's not a big deal. This is just to protect the metal from future issues. So let me go ahead and knock that out, get all that painted, and then I'll show you what the final product looks like. Hopefully I'll also have the bottom finished sanding and get that and show you all that with its rust preventative coat on it. All right, keep at it. All right, everybody. So I got all of the floorboards seam sealed in, and I went ahead and just threw a coat of Rust-Oleum gloss black on it. All that is going to prevent it from rusting. This will all be getting sanded down, and I believe from right here, I think it's called the bulkhead, I'm not positive, but from here all the way up to the floor, maybe even up the firewall, I'm going to be doing a roll-on bed liner. I do it in my Jeeps, and it does help out with heat and noise. So we're going to do a roll-on on this type. I don't want to spray it just because of the way the spraying goes. On the bottom, as you can see, I'm just going to get up in there.
Need some light. Hang on. Alright, yep, the bottom is taken care of and painted on all areas. Now the bottom is not perfectly flat, I'm not gonna lie to you. There is a little bit of a waviness to it from the patching, but I wasn't too concerned on the look under there. I really just wanted it to be, you know, relatively smooth and watertight, and I was able to accomplish that. I will be scrubbing the bottom and then undercoating it. The stuff you get at AutoZone and stuff like that isn't the greatest. It does its job okay. We might go with that if we can't find something better for the same price roughly. Maybe a little more than likely. You pay for what you get. But the weather stripping, no. The seam sealer we used was from AutoZone. It was the Dynatron brand, right here. One can did everything I wanted it to do. I think it was like $12.99. I was very happy with it. It had good reviews, and it did exactly what it's supposed to do. It was thick but pliable to put on, dried to paint in about an hour, and then 24 hours it's fully cured, and it's still a little pliable. That way, you know, as the body shakes just a little bit, flexes just a little bit as I'm driving and whatnot, it's gonna flex with it and not crack or anything. But that takes care of the floors. Also, I don't think I showed you yet, I did go and chassis saver all of the areas that were metal up in the front. I took care of that just to prevent future rust. I'm not really worried about overspray on it when we paint the car, prime the car. I was really just trying to prevent future rust. But yeah, I'll catch y'all later.
Okay, so here we have the radiator and the radiator core support. This is the last part of rust repair. Yeah, got some rust that I have to deal with. Most of y'all probably be looking at this saying, junk it, throw it away. It looks bad, and it is bad, but it's not as bad as you think it is. It's just this lower portion that I will blast out. And then with the metal brake and a few other techniques, I'll be able to rebuild this bottom and not spend $250 on this core support. As you can see, I do have a radiator leak. Besides that leak, there's nothing wrong with this radiator, so I am going to be buying and replacing this radiator, but I'll be saving it and getting this leak fixed. More than likely, we'll just solder that, and it'll just be a backup radiator. You know, just in case for whatever reason something happens and we need this radiator, we've got it. The tanks are good, the nozzles are good. It's just got a small leak. But yeah, I'm gonna get this torn down and get ready for sandblasting and figuring out what actually we have and we don't have down here. So I just finished sandblasting. Obviously I didn't get every last inch of this. I was actually running really low on sand and it was kind of a pain. I might have to come back and touch it up a little bit. But as you can see, from this point forward, we are good to go. No issues whatsoever. It's just about up to this bolt right here on both sides, and this is what I gotta rebuild. I gotta rebuild that entire bottom. But this is the this is the front of the car, this side that's out towards us. I gotta build the front, as well as some of this back. So right here is still good metal. All of this is still good metal. So we'll be able to take a piece of metal this length, bend it down, bend it down so we can weld it here, have it tuck into here, fold it up again, and then we can weld it along here, and that'll reinforce this side. And then on this side, we will do the same exact thing, except for it'll be coming down to here, and we'll have to cut out around these bolts, come down here and weld, and then with that new metal here, we'll be able to sandwich that together and get a weld, and that will rebuild that. So we're gonna be taking this piece right here. So this is the first piece that will be going in. It is going to obviously clean this up, but also start the stabilization of the support. The next piece we still gotta do a little bit of work on this piece, as it just wasn't quite working the way we wanted it to. So we might end up actually completely rebuilding it. But this piece comes over, and then, hang on, I gotta get this in. Ties into this piece. Like I said, the bend isn't properly right, but that is gonna be the rough idea of rebuilding the bottom portion of this. Once we get this rolled over better, or rebuild this and make it a two-piece, you know, the L and then a cap here, that will take care of the top. Then if I flip you over, you can also see how this is pretty much just shot. So we've got this piece made. That'll sit in there just like that. I believe that's how we're going with it. The only other way we could be doing it, yeah, no, it's right there. We got to trim the top, obviously, but this is going to reinforce that piece. And after we do all of that, the only last thing that I have to make still is this piece here, as well as this piece here, and this will just be a simple patch. And then once all that's welded on, I will show you it. So the metal work and the rust repair is completely done. I showed you the patch panels and everything on the Radiator core support. I'm going to show you now what the final product was and how we ended up welding it all together. So as you can see, we put the patch here to help with that. Well, there's a little bit of a gap here, but the majority of the structure is fixed. We stitch welded the bottom here, as well as this side. On this front side, we took the back piece, we rolled it over in order to attach it to this front piece and all the way up. Also, because this center support bar, the nut was, the threaded part, that was completely rotted out, so we went ahead and cut that off, grinded it all up, and then welded on a new bolt. That way we can stick this like that for the front support.
But that is going to be it for the rust repairs. And that's going to conclude this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and hit the subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss any content. Also, hit that like button as it does help me out a lot. Thank y'all so much for watching. Y'all have a great day.